Gentlemen, how's it going? It is Dev's Booth, and today we are looking at the Borderlands 3 hotfixes for October 8th, 2020, as well as looking at the Bloody Harvest, which is returning again. And there's also an assortment of weapon changes and adjustments to Zane, so that'll be really nice to look at. And just to start off with the Bloody Harvest, it did come in effect from October 8th, going until November 5th at 9 AM PT. And another important thing is that the Galaxy Brain modifier will no longer prevent players from talking to Krieg or entering the loot room in the Psycho Krieg in the Fantastic Fuster Cluck DLC at the very end. I do know that that was a occasional problem for some people. I never experienced it, but now that won't happen. And for the Bloody Harvest weapon and anointment changes, the Fearmonger has an increased number of bullets per terror level, and there's an increased weapon damage. For the Stalker, it has increased weapon damage. The Gas Call, increased weapon damage. Basically, last year when this happened, I think the level was like set at 50, and so this is just adjustments for that and just to make them more viable at this point in the game, as well as some of the weapons and grenade mods don't have anointments, and so having that extra weapon damage will be how they make them actually usable and viable. And for the terror anointments, that's well terrified, gain increased damage and fire rate. The more terror you have, the higher the bonus. That's a lot to go into. So now there is an increased damage bonus for the terror anointments. Well terrified, deal 50% bonus cryo damage, which is great for weapons that deal cryo. Increased damage bonus to 75%. While terrified, enemy bullets have a chance to reflect off of you. The more terror you have, the higher the bonus. Increased damage bonus on action skill end. Apply terror to yourself every 5 seconds for the next 18 seconds, which is going to be very, very OP. And they also adjusted the text to match what is happening in game. And for the Siren anointment, after phase of grasping an enemy, Mara fires terror skulls at the grasped target, dealing about 3700 damage. But that's at level 50, and so obviously that's going to scale to level 65. Increased damage bonus to that, obviously. And then for the Beastmaster anointment, after using the attack command, so use your pet, consume all terror, and Flax Pet will gains 50% bonus fire damage for a short time. That's going to make it so that pet build will be more viable. And as I was looking through everything else and trying everything out, it honestly might be better than Gamma Burst. So that's something to keep in mind. The Gunner anointment, after reloading, consume all terror and create a Nova that creates cryo damage. That's increased damage as well. Again, these are already things that were in the game, they're just buffed. Basically, they all have bonus damage. And then there's some weapon changes that came along with this hotfix as well. Dial burst weapons increase the burst fire rate of AR, SMGs, and pistols. This does not affect the legendary weapons though. Something to keep in mind, especially late in game when you'll be using primarily legendary weapons. The laser exploder increased damage, scaling, and magazine size. Now, with the laser exploder, I've been in the midst of making a Ghostbusters build, and I have not been able to find the right build for the right character because everyone was weak, and so hopefully the laser exploder now is a lot stronger. I'll check that out actually in just a moment. Stay tuned for that video. The conference call initial target will now be hit with the weapon's extra projectiles. Originally it was just the first pellet, and the whole thing was weird, and they made it so that bosses, I believe, weren't hit with the extra projectiles. And so, I mean, the conference call, it still won't be like better than most of the other shotguns, but at least it's doing now what it was supposed to be doing. They initially nerfed it because it was too OP, and now they just made it the same. The Maggie has slightly increased weapon damage, which is nice. The Psycho Stabber has an insane amount of bonus melee damage. You'll be able to check out my Black Gamma Burst build, where you need the Psycho Stabber, and you just spam the action skill button to create novas, that will be insane. So that's going to be incredibly overpowered, so make sure to check that video out. And the Masterwork crossbow has increased weapon damage. I think it was something like 3 times damage, something like that. Like my gun originally was like 47,000, I think, and now it's like 120, somewhere along those lines. And so with this hotfix, they're really buffing up Zane. Zane, I just got him to level 65, so I'm kind of annoyed that the hotfix came out now, because I waited and nothing. But basically, a lot of what he is he was like underperforming, and so they're just buffing him up to make him a bit better. Like with the skill changes, Cold Bore, increased weapon damage, the duct tape mod, decreased grenade cooldown by half. So that's something you gotta keep an eye on when you're tossing the grenades. Again, if you don't know what the skills are, you can just quickly look them up. But I just want to make sure I do get everything covered in this video and to not keep it too long yet. And then for the skill, like a ghost, has an increased chance to ignore a bullet, and increase the bonus for each active action skill. A lot of the issues that they noticed as well was that late game, you're not activating your Zane skills as much, your action skills, since it's built around keeping them up. And so they have maneuver things to adjust for that, overall making him a better character. Trick of the Light, there's bonus increased damage, Festive Cold, increased damage from the Cryo Novas from the skill, and Fertility Belt, increase the damage reduction. Basically it's like higher damage mitigation. And there's also been some class mod changes as well, like Antifreeze, that's increased movement while taking cryo damage. Conductor is increased the damage bonus from it. The damage bonus from this class mod is dependent on the amount of action skill duration time you have left. And so, again, Zane is more so built about keeping the action skills on rather than having a fast cooldown rate, for example. And so this will be basically like a general damage bonus throughout all your mobbing and bosses, I guess, because bosses shouldn't be up too long anyways. Excavator, increase stat bonuses, and Techspert, which is again class mod, increase the chance of recharge to Sentinel cooldown and increase the chance of recharge to the Sentinel's cooldown and active duration, which is great because originally it was just 5%, which was not too great. So obviously that is a lot better. And so again, that's everything to the new Borderlands 3 hotfix, and a little touch upon the Bloody Harvest. Obviously, in the coming days, you'll see more videos about like the Fearmonger, the Stalker, the Gas Call, going over the Terror Annoyments. You'll be able to check out basically anyone's channel on that, and that'll be here until November 5th. And so that is everything for this video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.